Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook. You are on the Radio Vision Network, and we have a treat for you. I am like blown away. This is such a special honor. I'm going to welcome onto the Skype line right now Senator Raymond Lesniak. Good morning, Senator, and welcome to Morning Coffee.
Well, good morning. It's my honor to be here with your viewers, for sure.
That is a really nice thing to say, and we really appreciate you spending the time this morning. So I want to get this out of the way. First things first.
Yes.
Mets, Yankees, or Phillies?
I'm a Met fan because I originally was a New York Giant fan. And any former New York Giant. As a matter of fact, I played ball with Eddie Kranepool.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm a Met fan for sure.
All right. That's okay. Listen, I think we can still get along.
A long-suffering Met fan, I might add. Except for last year.
I'll tell you, I thought you had the Yankees in 2000, right? I mean, I thought you had them, but, hopefully we'll get another Subway Series, and the Mets will come out on that side. But I'm a Phillies fan. Full disclosure, you got to know that right off the bat.
I understand.
So your career it's been amazing. You took office in 1983, and you didn't look back. And that is so amazing. And just to put it in perspective for you, and I'm not trying to date you or make you feel old, but I was 5 when you took office.
Well, actually, you were 2, if my addition is right. I started in the assembly in 1978.
Wow, that's the year I was born.
You were a gleam in your parents' eyes.
Well, it's just been it's been such an amazing career. I want you to talk. It seemed like the way that Senate seat was gained in 1983 was a little bit interesting, but it's one of those special election things, and I know that people probably would recognize that happened to Cory Booker not too long ago, one of those special election type deals. But you took it, you won that round in 1983, and like I said, you didn't look back. And over the years, you have been a champion of such amazing causes. You are, you're the top legislator for equal rights marriage. And that was a huge issue. And thank you for championing something like that. What was that undertaking like?
Well, sure. Actually, I've always been an advocate for equal rights for the LGBT community. My girlfriend is just finished her term as the chair of the New Jersey Civil Rights Commission, and I'm very close to Stephen Goldstein, who was the founder of Garden State Equality, who really was the person. He's a national hero in terms of LGBT rights and marriage equality. So that was an undertaking. That was a challenge that I just felt very, very close to. I'm a straight ally, and to make it happen, we needed not only the support from the gay community, but all straight allies, people who believe in equal rights for everybody. And we went to the wall. When we first called for a vote, we got 14 votes, and we had 23 Democrats. So a lot of Democrats abstained or didn't vote.
Yeah.
But that turned around very quickly. But it was a crowning achievement for me to be in the forefront of it.
Yeah.
One of the first, if not the first, marriages was in my house. Marcia and Louise, who were plaintiffs in the case that got us same-sex marriage, at 12:01 on I think October 23rd, whenever it was, we celebrated their marriage. It was a great time and a great opportunity to see 2 loving people, regardless of their sex, join in the matrimony.
And that's what it's all about. And I'm a straight ally as well. And tell me a little bit about when you face opposition on a topic like that, where it just makes such good sense, right? Equal rights for everybody. It's almost like one of those things. It's a common sense no-brainer, but yet you deal with politicians that oppose things like that. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Well, I do it all the time. I do it with criminal justice reform. We were the first state in the nation to abolish the death penalty. I sponsored that.
Yes.
Same situation with criminal justice reform. I changed our maximum minimum sentences, so we've reduced our prison population by 20%, by 50% for drug offenses. A lot of it has to do with the relationships I have with my colleagues in the legislature. And I get along with them. I work very well with Republicans. Sometimes I work better with Republicans than with Democrats. But then I have to admit it's the force of my personality. No,
Yeah.
I don't take no for an answer. Just like I'm in court fighting Christie on this Exxon settlement.
Yeah.
I will not take no for an answer.
Yeah, and that's why you've been so successful, because you've been able to cross party lines on numerous occasions. And Senator, I respect and admire you because you're a level-headed thinker that has always put New Jersey and its residents first. And you were a champion for the sports betting as well, because you saw that as a revenue stream that could come into the state. And again, money into the state that's not really going to hurt anybody on the other side faced a lot of opposition once again.
Well, yeah, and again, Las Vegas has it. You can't get a room in Las Vegas during the Final Four weekend or even the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Super Bowl, Atlantic City is a ghost town.
Right.
Why should they have it and not us? And we're still in court. We're going to the U.S. Supreme Court
Right.
on that, and I'm not giving up that fight either.
Good. I think it's just such a smart revenue stream. We have legalized gambling here. Why wouldn't we have sports betting? It attracts people, like you said. It's tourism dollars. It's all sorts of money that could be poured into a city that so desperately needs it.
And it's also a revenue stream that is now going to organized crime sports betting.
Right.
We just busted another one a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Or
great.
it's going to offshore internet sites. Why shouldn't we get that here it would be a huge boost for Atlantic City.
Yeah, I mean, keep the money here. It makes sense. It makes sense to keep the money here. Another one of your great causes is animal welfare. I mean, you have picked like all of the great things that are so special to me. Like, I wish I lived in your district. Not that you need my help, because man, you win every time anyway.
Well, that's true, but I'm thinking about running for governor.
Yeah, I heard. Oh, well, I heard about. I was getting to that. I was getting to that.
Okay, but yeah, animal protection is very, very dear to me. I have two adopted dogs that are just the love of my life, along with my girlfriend.
Of course.
I have to get that in, Selena. but also just the preservation of the species. It just breaks my heart to see lions and tigers and elephants slaughtered to make trophies of them. And it's also a great source of money for terrorism. Poaching is a great source of money for that. So, and by the way, I do not agree with Governor Christie on a lot, as you can imagine.
Right.
But he has signed my legislation not allowing any of these trophies to come into the state, banning ivory transactions. He's supported me on criminal justice reform. So, wherever I can work with him, I will, because he has to sign my legislation, or else it's not going to go into effect.
You're right, and whether we like it or not, he is the governor of our state until next year. So we do need to work with him and make the best possible scenario until Senator Lesniak makes his run in 2017.
That's not official.
I know. I'm not making any announcements here. We're not making any announcements here, but let's talk about the names that are out there right now, and I'm not going to mention any of them, but look.
I will. I can mention them.
Well, they're career politicians in New Jersey that have made their name by just kind of hanging around. I don't see their track record of success like yours. I see.
Well, that's true, but don't forget Phil Murphy. He's not a career politician, but he's a billionaire Goldman Sachs guy.
Right, but does he have a legitimate shot? I'm thinking of Steve Sweeney, right? Sweeney is the loudest candidate out there.
That's correct. Yes, he is. He's the Senate president, and he's done some good things, but I think some things that are not good. And I intend to break down the walls, quite frankly, to upset the apple cart. This state needs someone who's going to upset the apple cart. We waste so much money on deals between Democrats and Republicans, and it's been going on for decades. And this state is not affordable. We have to upset those apple carts to make it affordable. That has to come first and foremost.
I love what you're saying right now, because that is so true on a national level, I believe, as well here in New Jersey, right? Upsetting the apple cart is absolutely what needs to happen right now. And we're in a situation where you, as a Democrat, are so much more level-headed than these guys on the extremes on both sides that I hope that if you decide you get the proper platform and the forum for people to understand where you're coming from. Because, look, let's be honest. They're going to look at your numbers and they're going to say, this guy is another career politician like everybody else. But they're going to have to do their homework to see how you've stepped across the aisle and how you've done things that serve the people, that serve your constituents. This is what it's supposed to be all about, right?
That's the only reason why I'm in it. That's for sure. You know, I love to play golf too.
Nice.
I'd rather do this.
Yeah.
1,000 times over.
Yeah, of course, because this is your passion. This is what you. This is where you right? Like this is it. This is the stuff. This is the stuff.
It's what gets me up at 6 o'clock in the morning and alive and well and ready to rip. Even this morning, I do my best time early in the morning, my best work.
Yeah.
Because it comes right from the heart and soul. It's easy.
Yeah, and it's we're talking to Senator Ray Lesniak here for the 20th district, and I'll tell you that 20th district is nestled in that nice little north central part of the state there. I love that. You got like some shore communities there, and it's a beautiful area. And you're actually a Rutgers grad. I'm a Rowan grad. We're Jersey guys. I mean, this is where we live and work and play and all that stuff. And we had a big issue a few months ago with this gas tax.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
tell me about
it now.
Excuse me?
Well, first of all, I sponsored 4 years ago, incremental 5-cent increases in the gasoline tax. If we had done that, we wouldn't be behind the 8 ball where we are now. Where in order to catch up, 20 cents a gallon is required. That's just to pay off the debt that both Governor Christie, Governor Corzine, they all borrowed from, and now it's time to pay the piper. Not only to over $16 billion for that, but there's also no money to repair any roads. But first, maybe not first, but certainly at the same time, we have to make sure that money is spent efficiently. We've seen that in New Jersey it costs 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 times what it costs to repair roads in other states.
Right.
We have to because people will pay what needs to be paid to have safe roads and safe transportation.
Right.
As long as they believe that their money is being spent efficiently. Right. So we have to gain the trust of the people to do that.
Yeah, and everybody always says, well, New Jersey's gas, it's so cheap, and you can't pump it yourself, and all this stuff, and your idea and your legislation would have really alleviated the situation that we're in now, because now we're in scramble mode, right? Because we need to make up those dollars so much faster than we would have.
Exactly, and unfortunately, again, my colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, senators, assembly people, governors, Democrats and Republicans, didn't want to bite the bullet. They were afraid, and that's why we get in these problems, because people still kick the can down the road. Well, there's no more road anymore to kick the can down.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because some guys that get in the way of I don't even know what gets in their way, but good common sense and sound thought don't always get practiced, and I'm sure you see that all the time.
What gets in their way is their concern about the next election. All right, we should not be concerned about the next election so that we don't put the people first.
Right.
I think that's what I have going for me. I've won overwhelmingly every time I've run, and so I do have the luxury, if you will, of doing that. But why be in office? Why be in office if your only concern is being elected the next time? If that's your concern, you shouldn't be in office.
Right, you're in it for the wrong reasons. You're not there to serve the people, which is the essential function of our government. But you've done so much great work with so many of the different different programs. But I want to kind of go in a little bit of a different direction, because we saw our governor not too long ago make his little run for the presidency there. And, since that all happened, he's kind
Okay.
non-existent. Where did he go, and what is he doing?
Okay.
Is he trying to I don't even know. They're calling him the absentee governor now. That's what they're saying.
I have no idea what he's doing. I'm not sure he knows what he's doing. My guess is, by the way, he'll have a great life, even though he's abandoned the state of New Jersey for sure.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll write a book. He'll make speeches. He'll go on Fox News. He may even run for president 4 years from now. His ego is that big.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is he's abandoned the state of New Jersey. We would be a lot better off if he resigned or started paying attention to the job that he was elected to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty disappointing because we saw, I mean, honestly, it was like a carnival sideshow, wasn't it? I mean, that whole Republican presidential situation was just, what a mess it turned out to be. And I think that, frankly, he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed how it played out. He got ousted, and then he basically had to support the candidate. And really, you look at the candidate and you're like, how on earth could we support this guy just because he's in our party? It's craziness.
I'm not sure that Chris Christie is capable of being embarrassed.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. After that issue in North Wildwood, where he told that mayor of that fine town to go get a mop, or that he was going to get a mop, I was so angry about that. And all of those other candidates that were in that debate had the opportunity to attack him on that, and they missed that opportunity. Why couldn't the rest of the nation know how he talks to the people that lead the towns of his state?
It didn't matter. He didn't win any state. He got 2 or 3% of the votes, so he was out of it quickly. Then he jumps right back into the fray with Donald Trump. That, by the way, as a result, he has the lowest approval rating of any governor that I can remember. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we've had some pretty low approval ratings for our governors, right?
Yes, Governor Florio, who did a lot of good things.
That's who I was thinking of too.
He did a lot of good things, but he didn't do them in a way that communicated well with the public.
Yeah, and I want to talk about a friend. I want to talk about a friend of yours real quick, and that was Jim McGreevey, because Jim McGreevey was a great governor, and obviously his personal life and the situation kind of overshadowed that. But Jim McGreevey did a lot of great work here in New Jersey, and I'd like you just to speak a little bit about him and your friendship.
Sure. Well, first of all, his undoing was his own making. And the bottom line there, and it goes back to why I'm so supportive of issues like same-sex marriage. He couldn't be true to himself. He had to hide who he was from the public.
Yeah.
And we don't know how harmful that is. I have a friend whose father passed away, who a gay friend whose parents disowned him. His father passed away, and he got a call from his mother's attorney for the estate saying, "Don't come to the funeral. Your mother doesn't want you there."
Oh.
So we can't understand what all that trouble that McGreevey held within him.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that. Notwithstanding that, yes, he put his gay lover on the payroll in a position that he wasn't qualified for.
Right.
I don't know that that's grounds for leaving office, for having to leave office, but he felt that it was.
But I think it was because of everything else that was going on. He is not the first person that has done that, and
for sure.
Right. I mean, so I think that it was because of the bigger situation is kind of how that evolved. But I was very lucky. I was working down at Stone Harbor Golf Club by Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey, and he was on his way to Cape May, and he stopped in to the restaurant. He wanted a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something, and I was lucky enough. I served him that cup of coffee, and he was such a genuinely nice man we had already started to hear the rumors at that point. It was before everything had come out, and I was kind of fearful because I was afraid, because he was such a genuinely nice man that at that time when it did come out, it was like I hate using the word scandalous because it wasn't that, but that's how it was viewed. Do you think maybe 20 years in the future, where we are now, or less than that, 15 years in the future, maybe he would have had a better chance or understanding that we're in a little bit of a different world right now?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, without a doubt, if he had felt the freedom to be who he was, to be true to himself, in my opinion, it's an advantage. People understand that now. That as recently as, you don't even have to go back 15 years ago. Probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, there was that wasn't the general feeling of the public of tolerance and understanding. So we've come a long way for that, and we're certainly a much better society because of it.
Yeah, and you know what? And maybe we can thank him for that, because maybe that was a start of a social change that really needed to happen. And, because it polarized so many people, maybe the people that were like, look, we should be celebrating this man and not chastising him, maybe their voices got a little bit louder, and that was important.
I think the bigger event was when Ocean County denied a police officer of 26 years the ability to assign her pension rights to her domestic partner. That was made into a movie, and it was just so cruel that here is an officer of the law who can't do what for her same-sex partner what a opposite-sex couple could. That, I believe, really galvanized. It was made into a movie, a feature movie called Freeheld. That certainly was I think a bigger turning point. Obviously not as well known as the McGreevy thing, but it showed the lack of compassion of people who didn't understand the concept of same-sex marriage.
Yeah. It's been an amazing pleasure speaking with you this morning, Senator Lesniak. I'm really overwhelmed, and I wish that we had more politicians in the state that approach their jobs the way you do, because you approach it like a job. It is your career, and you're not self-serving with it. You are serving your constituency, and if you decide to run for governor, I wish you the best of luck, and you'll have to come down to South Jersey and meet me down here, and we'll talk a little bit more. So I want everybody to go check out RaymondLesniak.com. That's his website, and you can learn more about the senator. And again, Senator Lesniak, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me this morning.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming down and meeting you personally and being on your show live.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He is Senator Raymond Lesniak, and he just might be the next governor of New Jersey. And it was just an honor and a pleasure to speak with him this morning. This is Mark Cook. I got to take a quick break here on Morning Coffee. Stick around. You're on the Radio Vision Network.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state